Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you signing in today. It's going to look a little different. I'm at the laundromat, so I decided I would do this while I'm waiting for a wash, so it won't be as normal. But before we begin, Father, as I read and receive your word, may it deeply be rooted in me, so when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. Amen. So chapter 2, we're still in Kings 1 from yesterday. Chapter 2. David's final instructions to Solomon. As the time of King David's death approached, he gave this charge to his son Solomon. I am going where everyone on earth must someday go. Take courage and be a man. Observe the requirements of the Lord your God and follow all his ways. Keep each of the laws, commands, regulations, and stipulations written in the law of Moses, so that you will be successful in all you do and wherever you go. If you do this, then the Lord will keep the promise he made to me. If your descendants live as they should and follow me faithfully with all their heart and soul, one of them will always sit on the throne of Israel. Give me a second here. And there is something else. You know that Job, son of Zeruiah, murdered my 2 army commanders, Abner, son of Ner, and Amasa, son of Jether. He pretended that it was an act of war, but it was done in a time of peace, staining his belt and sandals with the blood of war. Do with him what you think best, but don't let him die in peace. Be kind to the sons of Barzillai of Gilead. Make them permanent guests of the king, for they took care of me when I fled from your brother Absalom. And remember Shimei, son of Gera, the man from Bahurim in Benjamin. He cursed me with a terrible curse as I was fleeing Mahanaim, when he came down to meet me at the Jordan River. I swore by the Lord that I would not kill him, but that oath does not make him innocent. You are a wise man, and you will know how to arrange a bloody death for him. Then David died and was buried in the city of David. He had reigned over Israel for 40 years, 7 of them in Hebron and 33 in Jerusalem. Solomon succeeded him as king, replacing his father David, and he was firmly established on the throne. Solomon establishes his rule. One day, Adonijah, whose mother was Haggith, came to see Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. Have you come to make trouble? She asked him. No, he said, I come in peace. In fact, I have a favor to ask of you. What is it? She asked. He replied, as you know, the kingdom was mine. Everyone expected me to be the next king. But the tables were turned, and everything went to my brother instead, for that is the way the Lord wanted it. So now I have just one favor to ask of you. Please don't turn me down. What is it? She asked. He replied, speak to King Solomon on my behalf, for I know he will do anything you request. Ask him to give me Abishag, the girl from Shunem, as my wife. All right, Bathsheba replied. I will speak to the king for you. So Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak on Adonijah's behalf. The king rose from his throne to meet her, and he bowed down to her. When he sat down on his throne again, he ordered that a throne be brought for his mother, and she sat at his right hand. I have one small request to make of you, she said. I hope you won't turn me down. What is it, my mother? He asked. You know I won't refuse you. Then let your brother Adonijah marry Abishag, the girl from Shunem, she replied. How can you probably ask me to give Abishag to Adonijah? Solomon demanded. You might as well be asking me to give him the kingdom. You know that he is my older brother, and that he was Abiathar the priest and Joab son of Uriah on his side. Then King Solomon swore solemnly by the Lord. May God strike me dead if Adonijah has not sealed his fate with this request. The Lord has confirmed me and placed me on the throne of my father, David. He has established my dynasty as he promised. So surely as the Lord lives, Adonijah will die this very day. So King Solomon ordered Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, to execute him, and Adonijah was put to death. Then King said to Abiathar the priest, Go back to your home in Anathoth. You deserve to die. But I will not kill you now, because you carry the ark of the sovereign Lord from my father. And you suffered right along with him through all his troubles. So Solomon deposed Abiathar from his position as priest of the Lord, thereby fulfilling the decree of the Lord had made with Shiloh concerning the descendants of Eli. Although he had not followed Absalom earlier, Joab had also joined Adonijah's revolt. When Joab heard about Adonijah's death, he ran to the sacred tent of the Lord and caught hold of the horns of the altar. When news of this reached King Solomon, he sent Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, to execute him. Benaiah went into the sacred tent of the Lord and said to Joab, "The king ordered you to come out." But Joab answers, "No, I will die here." So Benaiah returned to the king and told him what Joab said. "Do as he said," the king replied. "Kill him there beside the altar and bury him. This removed the guilt of his senseless murders from me and from my father's family. Then the Lord will pay him for the murders of 2 men who were more righteous and better than he. For my father has no party to the deaths of Abner, son of Ner, commander of the army of Israel, and Amasa, son of Jether, commander of the army of Judah. May Joab and his descendants be forever guilty of these murders, and may the Lord grant peace to David and his descendants and to his throne forever." So Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, returned to the sacred tent and killed Joab, and Joab was buried at his home in the wilderness. Then the king appointed Benaiah to command the army in place of Joab, and he installed Zadok the priest to take this place of Abiathar. The king then sent for Shimei and told him, "Build a house here in Jerusalem and live there, but don't step outside the city to go anywhere else. On the day you cross the Kidron Valley, you will surely die. Your blood will be on your own head." Shimei replied, "Your sentence is fair, and I will do whatever my lord commands." So Shimei lived in Jerusalem for a long time. But 3 years later, 2 of Shimei's slaves escaped to King Achish of Gath. When Shimei learned where they were, he saddled his donkey and went to Gath to search for them. When he found them, he took them back to Jerusalem. Solomon heard that Shimei had left Jerusalem and had gone to Gath and returned, so he sent for Shimei and demanded, "Didn't I make you swear by the Lord and warn you not to go anywhere else, or you would surely die? And you replied, 'The sentence is fair. I will do as you say.' Then why haven't you kept your oath to the Lord and obeyed my command?" The king also said to Shimei, "You surely remember all the wicked things you did to my father, King David. May the Lord punish you for them. But may I receive the Lord's rich blessings, and may one of David's descendants always sit on this throne." Then at the king's command, Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, took Shimei outside and killed him. So the king was now firmly in Solomon's grip. Chapter 3. Solomon asks for wisdom. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and married one of his daughters. He brought her to live in the city of David until he could finish building his palace and the temple of the Lord and the wall around the city. At that time, the people of Israel sacrificed their offerings at local altars, for a temple honoring the name of the Lord had not yet been built. Solomon loved the Lord and followed all the instructions of his father David, except that Solomon too offered sacrifices and burned incense at the local altars. The most important of these altars was at Gibeon, so the king went there and sacrificed 1,000 burnt offerings. That night the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream, and God said, "What do you want? Ask, and I will give it to you." Solomon replied, "You were wonderfully kind to my father, David, because he was honest and true and faithful to you. And you have continued this great kindness to him today by giving me a son to succeed him. O Lord my God, now you have made me king instead of my father, David, and I am like a little child who doesn't know his way around. And here I am among your own chosen people, a nation so great they are too numerous to count. Give me an understanding mind so that I can govern your people well and know the difference between right and wrong. For who by himself is able to govern this great nation of yours?" The Lord was pleased with Solomon's reply and was glad that he had asked for wisdom. So God replied, "Because you have asked for wisdom in governing my people, and have not asked for long life or riches for yourself or the death of your enemies, I will give you what you asked for. I will give you a wise and understanding mind, such as no one else has ever had or ever will have. and I will also give you what you did not ask for, riches and honor. No other king in all the world will be compared to you for the rest of your life. And if you follow me and obey my commands as your father, David did, I will give you a long life." Then Solomon woke up and realized it had been a dream. He returned to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the Lord's covenant, where he sacrificed burnt offerings and peace offerings. Then he invited all his officials to a great banquet. Solomon judges wisely. Some time later, 2 prostitutes came to the king to have an argument settled. "Please, my lord," one of them begged, "this woman and I live in the same house. I gave birth to a baby while she was with me in the house. 3 days later, she also had a baby. We were alone. There were only 2 of us in the house. But her baby died during the night when she rolled over on it. Then she got up in the night and took my son from beside me while I was asleep. She laid her dead child in my arms and took mine to sleep beside her. In the morning, when I tried to nurse my son, he was dead. But when I looked more closely in the morning light, I saw it wasn't my son at all." Then the other woman interrupted. "It certainly was your son, and the living child was mine." "No," the first woman said. "The dead one is yours, and the living one is mine." And so they argued back and forth before the king. And the king said, "Let's get the facts straight. Both of you claim the living child is yours, and each says that the dead child belongs to the other. All right, bring me a sword." So a sword was brought to the king, and he said, "Cut the living child in 2 and give half to each of these women." Then the woman who really was the mother of the living child, and who loved him very much, cried out, "Oh no, my lord, give her the child. Please do not kill him." But the other woman said, "All right, he will be neither yours nor mine. Divide him between us." Then the king said, "Do not kill him, but give the baby to the woman who wants him to live, for she is the mother." Word of the king's decision spread quickly throughout all Israel, and the people were awed as they realized the great wisdom God had given him to render decisions with justice. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I know it's a little shaky, but tomorrow we'll be back at home. So thank you so much. Have a great day and a blessed day. Bye.